Good day once again, my dear graphic design students. In this demo, we will look at how to apply the steps in the Works Everytime layout to create a flyer design. I have already created Fred's flyer, so I will show you step by step on how to do it in Adobe Illustrator. So I have my folder here, the projects. I have my flyer folder with all the document info, and you will see here that I've got my logo because we will be using this later in our flyer. So this was created in the previous lesson that I have uploaded. Okay, we have the flyer. I have made it beforehand para mayroon tayong basis in creating the flyer later. I have also here the JPEG version of the flyer, and this is what it looks like. So having understood the previous video tutorial regarding the Works Everytime layout, can you see how the Works Everytime layout have been applied here? So we will do this step by step later. So I have also here my stock image that I downloaded. I will be sharing some references later to stock images or website that you can make use of. Okay, now let's open the flyer. Okay, so I will just open the flyer. On the right hand side, in this part, you will notice that I created an additional artboard. So I have two artboards here. So this is the first artboard and this is the second artboard. And if you want to add an artboard in your Adobe Illustrator project, you can simply go to your right hand panel, and here at the bottom it says artboards, the two squares that overlap each other. You can simply click here, and on the new artboard option at the bottom, this is the new artboard option, you can click this to get another artboard. But I don't really need that at the moment, so Control Z to remove the created artboard. So this is the info on the second artboard. It contains the information that I use on my flyer design, and we're going to recreate this. So I will demonstrate step by step on how to create this flyer design. So I separated this kasi gagamitin ko to later on. So I will be copying this text in my new document. So let's start. So to open or to create a new document, we can go to File, Create New, or click New. Normally, the size of a flyer is A5. But for now, I'm simply going to create an A4, which is actually bigger than A5. So it gives me grace to make it smaller if I want to. But if I would like to print it slightly bigger, I won't need to worry about losing quality because as you would notice, we have an image here, a photograph at the top, which means that this is a raster image and you can add pixels that do not exist. Remember that? So I would rather create a bigger document and make it smaller than the other way around. So clicking my A4, I'll select portrait and click OK. Moving on with the next step. So let me ask you, so what's the first step of the Works Everytime layout? It wants us to create margins. To create margins, in our originally created flyer here, you will see blue guides. Here are the blue guides. These are the margins. Don't worry about them. They are only there as guides. And if you print this document, they won't show. You will only be able to see these guides in Adobe Illustrator anyways. So if you wish to add a margin to your document, you need to show the ruler first. So activate the ruler. By default, Illustrator does not have the ruler activated, so you need to activate it. And you can simply press Ctrl R to activate the ruler. So Ctrl R on your keyboard, and you will see that the ruler will be activated. You can even change the type of measurement on your ruler by simply right-clicking on it, on the ruler itself, and choosing your desired measurement units. So in my case, I am using millimeters, but you can also use inches. When it's an A4 document, I usually add 2 centimeter or 20 millimeter margin on each side. So if you wish to add a margin, you will simply go to your vertical or horizontal ruler. So for me, I'm going to start with my vertical ruler and click and drag. So I can see here my 20 millimeters. So if you wish to display 20 here, then you need to zoom in your document by holding Alt and scrolling your mouse wheel pataas. Okay, so you can see the measurement of your ruler 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Kasi pag masyadong maliit yan, hindi natin nakikita yung 10, 20. So you need to manually check kung anong value ng mga lines na yan sa ruler mo. So zoom in a little bit by holding Alt and scrolling your mouse wheel pataas. And to add a margin, 20 millimeter margin here. So you just click your ruler here, click and drag. And itapat nyo siya sa 20. Okay, so in here, our 20, so this is 10 and this is 20. Okay, so to add a ruler at the top and bottom, we will drag at our horizontal ruler, click and drag and add 20. So if you wish to move your artboard, you hold your you hold your space bar and drag your artboard. So we can see here below the 20. So going to the bottom part of your document and zooming in, you will see that our guide on our ruler doesn't start on 0 millimeters. So how would I change it to 0 millimeters when I got at this bottom right corner? So you can simply drag the corner. So this is the corner of your ruler and drag it at the bottom edge. So pag dirinag mo siya dito, then your ruler will start here. So as you can see, nag-start siya sa 0, nag-start siya sa 0. Okay, so now we can add another guide here. So this is 10, 20. Okay, ulitin ko lang. Kanina hindi 0 ang start nito. Hindi rin 0 ang start niyan. And if you want na mag-start siya sa 0, you simply drag your ruler dun sa corner, drag it at the edge. So kung saan? So kung gusto mo dito mag-start ang 0, then dito mo i-drag, then mag-i-start dun yung 0, mag-i-start dun yung 0. Kung gusto mo na dito sa center mag-start yung 0, then you drag here. So kung saan mo siya in-stop, dun mag-i-start yung 0, dun mag-i-start yung 0. I hope that's clear. Okay, so kung gusto mo siyang ibalik dito, okay, here's my sorry for that. So yan. Okay. So kung gusto mong ibalik yung 0 dyan, then you simply drag here. So the 0 will start here and there. Okay. So that would be your margin. Now, I have my vertical margins and my horizontal margin with 20 millimeter on each side. Okay. Step 2 of the Works Every Time layout entails columns. So I will create 2 columns for this document. To do this, I need to determine the center of my document because I want 2 equally created columns one on the left and one on the right. So on your left hand panel, okay, you will see this icon which looks like an artboard. This is called the artboard tool. If you click on it, you will see that it creates guides around your artboard. This also gives me an indication of the center of my artboard. So I'm simply using this tool at the moment to help me to indicate the center. But you can also crop your artboard and resize it using the artboard tool. So click and drag the vertical ruler and align it to the center. Click and drag your horizontal ruler and align it to the center or middle. As simple as that. So I'll go over to my selection tool again and deselect my artboard tool. Okay, so this page is now divided into two columns. I will just zoom it in. One very important feature that you need to know is that columns cannot touch each other. There will always be a gutter in between. And as with your margins, please have a generous gutter as well. So I'm going to drag the corner of my ruler so that I can determine my gutter here. So I'm going to make it 5 mm on each side. Okay, so I'll just zoom in. So I will add 5 mm on each side. Okay, let's zoom out. To make sure that my guides, so these are my guides, the blue line, stay where they are, I can simply right-click on the outside of my artboard and click Lock Guides. Okay, so nakaklik siya ngayon sa Lock Guides. This will mean that I cannot move my guides around anymore. And this is exactly what I want. Ayokong lumilipat yung mga guide ko once na naklik ko siya. So I need to lock that. If in any case you need to move your guide at medyo mali yung margin and yung gutter mo, then you can always right-click outside your artboard and deselect or uncheck lock guides. Our next step in the Works Every Time layout entails visual. Okay, so before we proceed to our design, to our flyer design demo, so as mentioned, I will be sharing with you some references kung saan kayo pwedeng kumuha ng mga free stock images na pwede nyong gamitin sa mga designs ninyo. Okay, so I have here four. These are the most common websites where you can get free stock photos or images. So I have here pixabay.com. So just type Pixabay and press enter and this will be displayed or appear. We have also the freepic.com. So dito ako mostly kumukuha ng mga images ko. We have the pexels.com, images and videos ang pwede nyong kunin dito. And we have the unsplash.com. Okay? So ito yung mga pwede nyong kuhanan ng mga free stock images. And let's try to get images of a coffee since gagawan natin ng flyer design ang Fred's Coffee Shop. So just type sa search bar ang coffee and then enter. So it's important also, please take note na importante din pag kumukuha tayo ng stock images, we need to credit yung may-ari ng image. For example, ito yung kukunin mo. Okay, so simply click that. So makikita nyo dito kung free ba siya o hindi. So free for commercial use, so you can get that. And once you downloaded that, okay, So I'm not a robot and it will let you answer pictures. So ganyan lang. And then verify and then download. Then you will download the photo. So free naman siya. So hindi siya humihingi ng attribution or ng credit. So you can download that. Dito naman sa free pick, for example, search natin ng coffee, for example. Sa free pick pala or even sa mga ibang sites, kung may nakita kayong ganyan, premium yan, ibig sabihin for sale siya and you need to pay for it. So hanap kayo ng mga walang ganon. Okay, for example, ito. So if you wish to download naman this in free pick, so click that and download. So may makikita ka dito sa baba na attribution required. Ito yung sinasabi ko. So you need to credit yung may-ari ng photo. So pag click mo ang free download, so lalabas yung, so you can download that, you can save, pero hindi ko isi-save. So for you to know kung kanino yan, you can copy the attribution and you can click that here and paste. Tapos ang tatanggalin nyo na lang, since this will not be used for web, so kunin nyo lang yung part na to. So background vector or pwedeng background photo or background image, logo designed by, created by, ganyan. So tatanggalin nyo yan. Okay, so yan yung ilalagay nyo doon sa photo kung gagamitin nyo man siya. Okay, so let's use another photo. Huwag natin gamitin ito. So let's try to download another photo para sa demo natin. Okay, so ganun din sa Pexels. Just click and then download. So yan naman yung may-ari. So yan, so JPEG, mada-download na siya. So ito yung may-ari, Chevanon Photography. So you can put background photo by Chevanon Photography. Nasa na yung sample natin kanina. Background photo created by Chevanon Photography, then www.pexels.com. So yun naman yung ilalagay nyo. Kung Unsplash naman, type natin yung ating keyword. For example, we wish to use this. So Nathan Domlao is the owner of this photo. So let's download it. So Unsplash naman ito. Okay, so download natin siya sa desktop. And let's use this later on. Okay, Nathan Dumlao is the owner. So I will not close this. Yung gagamitin natin later na photo, yung dinownload natin. So ito yung mga free websites. These are the websites where you can get or download free stock images. So you can use this in making your activity or in making your flyer design at the end of the lesson. Okay, so going back to the project, to the flyer design demo. So I will now simply place my visual by going to File and clicking Place. Locate the photo that you wish to use. So kanina nag-download tayo and we save it in our desktop. Ito siya. Click that and click Place. Okay. Yan. So resize your image. Please take note, tulad ng nabanggit ko sa previous tutorial natin, when you resize an image, you always drag the corner placeholder while holding the shift key. Ulitin ko lang, you always drag the corner placeholder while holding the shift key on your keyboard because this will retain the proportion of your image and this will not distort the image. Pag sinabi nating distort, pinapapayat mo, pinapataba mo, pinapatangkad mo, pinapapandak mo yung image mo. That is distortion or distorting your image. Okay, so I think my image is properly resized, but I think the image is quite big and it's taking up a lot of space. So I must change the ratio of the image by creating a clipping mask. And to do this, I will be using my rectangle tool. Click and drag the desired ratio that I want. In this case, I would like to end around here. So don't worry about the color because I'm going to insert my image into this black rectangle. So to select my rectangle and my image, because you need to select both for you to create a clipping mask, you click or let's click the selection tool, hold the shift key. So as of now, the rectangle is now selected. So I wish to select again, or I wish to select the image pa, kasali dapat siya. So I'm holding my shift key. Take note, if you wish to select more than one element inside your artboard, you hold your shift key, okay? And to create a clipping mask, you press Ctrl 7, or you can do the long cut, go to Object, Clipping Mask, and Make. So to change this, if you don't like the ratio and you want to go and change it afterwards, but pag ganito kasi, we're stretching the image, so pangit. If you want to change the position of your image, gusto mong itaas, for example, do not do that ng ganito because it will distort the image. So instead, you can simply double click on the image. Okay, hover until you get the edge of your clipping mask. Okay, and drag the image dun sa position na gusto mo. And once you're happy, double click outside the image. Okay? And please take note if you use visuals that are downloaded and that request for attribution, tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, okay, you can go doon sa pinagkuhanan mo ng image and get the owner. So Nathan Dumlao is the owner. So I will just copy that and I will add the text. Background photo created by Nathan Dumlao www. So kinuha ko siya sa unsplash.com. Okay, unsplash.com. Making sure that your image or the text, the attribution or the credit is inside the margin because we don't want that to be cut off. And making sure that it's not too big because we want the visual to take the attention and not the attribution. Okay, so just like what I did here. I place my attribution below the image. Okay, so you can place your attribution anywhere basta inside the margin. Okay, so that's how we place visual. So we place it at the top and we give attribution. And if the image is too big, we can create a clipping mask. Step 4 of the Works Every Time layout entails the headline. So our headline is the art of perfecting coffee. So I'm going to copy this, but you can also retype this if you wish to. But for now, I'm going to copy it. So I will activate my type tool, highlight the part that I wish to copy, press Ctrl C to copy. Go back to your document, have the type tool activated, click on the artboard and press Ctrl V to paste. I would place this underneath the visual. Yes, underneath the visual. And change its typeface. Okay, so I will just resize. So I will change now the typeface. So you can download some awesome typefaces from the internet for free. So you can go to font.google.com or fontsgoogle.com, or you can also go to thefont.com. Okay. So ang nagamit ko dito sa project, the typeface of this is Beyond Infinity. So you can search for that using the font. Okay, so Beyond Infinity, search using thefont.com. You search the font that you wish to use. Ayan, and just simply click download. And the font will be downloaded as a zip file. Okay, you just need to extract that zip file. Okay, so let's download para makita ninyo. Okay, so I will just create a folder here para hindi magkalat-kalat mamaya. Okay, and let's download that. Now on our desktop, font. Simply right-click that and extract. So this is the font. So you look for the true type font file. Yun yung type niya. Right-click. Sa ibang computer, you can right-click and then click install. Or pwede kayong pumunta doon sa control panel, go to fonts and paste there. So since na-install ko na yung Beyond Infinity, nag-a-appear yan. Pero once kung kayo, hindi nyo pa na-install, so walang lalabas na ganito. Okay, so just simply right-click the true type font file after extracting and click install. Okay, so that's how you install a font. Pero you need to restart the program para pumasok siya doon sa typefaces list ninyo. Okay, so I'll be using Beyond Infinity typeface here. So, isi-search ko na lang. Okay. So, it will be my typeface and I will resize this. So, okay na yung size niya. You can make it bigger. So, you can also make this bolder kasi heading siya. Ay, sorry for that. Okay, so Control Z. Bold. Okay, so walang bold na option ang ating Beyond Infinity na font. Okay. So this will be our heading. For our subheading, we will copy this and paste it here. So I'm going to add the subheading as well. And I would want to use a different typeface for this. So for this, I'll be using Century Gothic. I think yun yung nagamit dyan. Century Gothic. Okay. And as you can see here, all caps yung kanyang case. So to change this to all caps, you can go to character, make sure na nakaselect, and click all caps. Okay. You can also add a tracking para hindi dikit-dikit yung mga characters. Okay, so napansin nyo nagkaroon ng space, more space in between the character. Okay, so this will be my subheading. Okay, now I'm done with the heading and subheading and my visual. The fifth step in the Works Every Time layout is the body copy. Let's go over to our body copy. So let's copy the first text on the left using the type tool. Okay. So you highlight, Control C, go over to your document, activate the type tool. So please take note na pag ang gagawin nyo is a paragraph form of a text, you need to draw a text box. And you paste inside the text box yung paragraph nyo so it is easier to manage. So if you don't create a text box parang yung ginawa ko kanina and you want to resize it, it's going to distort your typeface. And we don't want to do that. Now, you use the guide to make sure that everything fits in. So pag may nakita kayong ganun sa baba, ibig sabihin, merong nakatagong font or meron nakatagong text. So you need to frog. So, masyadong malaki yata yung aking text. So, I will just change the size of my text. Okay. So, I'm using the limiter. Okay, masyado na maliit. Okay. So, we will change its typeface to Century Gothic as well. But we will be using the regular one. Okay, masyado pang. So, I will just resize my text box so it fits the text. I think masyadong malaki yung aking visual sa taas. Yes. Let's try 4.5. 4.8. So just make sure that the text will fit. Okay, if you want to justify, okay, let's justify. Okay, that would be my left text. Next, I'm going to add the text for to be placed at the right. Okay. And throw a text box again. Take note, you need to draw a text box for you not to distort the text. Okay, so if I wish to copy the characteristics or all the settings of the text here and apply it here, then I can highlight this, click on my or activate on my eyedropper tool and select. So this will apply all settings or all characteristics of this text. Okay. Let me just add also another subheading. So I will not include in anymore the question mark. And since this is not a paragraph, so I can simply activate my text tool and paste. Okay, so the font face or typeface of this is the same with the heading. So I have two subheadings here. I have barista style. So this should be set to bold for it to be emphasized. Okay. I'll just make this bigger. So, nakopy ko naman na yung body copy. Okay, so I have here the body copy. The subheading and the heading. The last step in the Works Every Time layout is the tags. Okay, next we have our tags at the bottom. So this is our tag, okay, which include our contact details and our logo. So for now, we will copy the contact details by highlighting it and pressing Ctrl+C to copy. Go back to our document. Activate the type tool. Draw a text box and press Ctrl+V to paste. Okay, so we will place this below and make it one line. So I will just zoom in. Okay, So using our type tool steel, so I will make this as one line. So 1, 2 spaces and the dash. The dash can be found, by the way, just at the top of our enter key in case you're finding it. 2. Okay. And we will copy the characteristics or the setting of our body copy by using the eyedropper. Make sure that the tag is selected. Click on the eyedropper tool and click the object that you wish to copy. Okay. And of course, we will move our tag. Make sure that all texts are placed within the margin. So as you observe here, my tags, the body copy, the subheadings, and the heading are all placed inside the margin. So there is a possibility that this will be cut off, but this is okay because I just want to get some part of the image. Okay, so we have here now our tag, our contact details. Now let's get our logo. So I will just copy here instead of opening my logo file and paste it here. Okay, so you will notice, ulitin ko lang, that my text doesn't ever exit the borders that I've created here. This is really, really important. Please keep this as is. Please practice this. Like I said, it looks more professional, but you are guaranteed that your text won't get off if you had to print. For example, you will be printing 10,000 of these flyers. So it's just a good work ethic and you don't want to waste money reprinting because some of the texts were cut during the printing process. So always be generous with your margins. And practice also adding a gutter here, and ulitin ko lang, all text or all elements in your design that you don't want to be cut off when after the printing should be placed inside the margin. Okay, so that will be my tag, the contact details, and the Fred logo. So now I've got my whole document. I want to add more detail to make it a bit more interesting. So I'm going to work with my image at the top, and I'll be using the color of this image for the typeface color. By selecting my type, I'm going to click the eyedropper tool and simply select a color that I think, so I will just zoom in. Okay. So I've chosen a dark brown, same with my subheading. Okay, so I'll be clicking this part and also with my did you know. Okay, I'll be choosing also this color. With my body copy. Also, if you wish pala to select more than one element in your artboard, you can hold your shift key and select the text boxes or the objects. Okay. Para hindi pa isa-isa, click your eyedropper tool and select a color. Okay, so let's just check. Ayan. Oops, except for the Fred's logo. We will not select this. That should not be included in the selection. Okay, I'll select this. Okay. I will also add a black here. Using my rectangle tool. Okay. So that includes the Juno. And I'll be changing the color of that like this. Okay. Yeah. And if you wish to put this at the back of the text, you just right click, arrange, and then send to back. That will place the text. So I think I've chosen, baka meron pang lighter na color. Yan. Okay. So it's good na ang kinukuha nyong kulay is yung kulay ng visual ninyo. So your images will look like as if they are all related with each other. Okay, so I will just copy this, Control C and Control V, and I will place this at the bottom for my tags, for my contact details, and I will just resize it. Okay, so I think my tags are below my margin, and that's not correct. 4.5. I need to place this. So, nasa polishing na part na tayo. So make sure that all texts are within the margin and not without and not outside your margin. As you observe, yung lahat ng text ko are within margin. So I will just send this to back. Okay. So that's polishing. That's part of polishing. And this is how the works every time layout works. So we have our visual at the top here. We have our heading and subheading. That's important and it stands out and it's emphasized more than our body copy. We have our columns and we have our tags at the bottom with our logo as well. So to save it, we simply go to File and click Save. So make sure to change its file name. So I'll call this Fred's Flyer 2 since meron na akong nagawa na una. And this will automatically save as a vector file. Okay, let's just wait. Okay, so this will be saved as an illustration, Adobe Illustration, Illustrator file, and just click OK. And the Adobe Illustrator file will be saved. To export, you go to File. Okay, let's just wait. It's still saving. Okay. To export, you go to File, click Export. We're going to save it in a format to either take it to the printers or give it to Fred so he can take it to the printers. And we're going to click on Export As. So we can save it as a JPEG because this is a very good format that most computers can read. Tick Use Artboards. So I'll check the file name. So I'll be using Fred's Flyer 2 and click Export. So the quality, so the color CMYK, if it is for printing. So the quality should be on maximum. So this is important. And we leave it as a large file. The resolution should be set to high if you want to print it. If you're going to use it in social media or only to email people, or if it's going to be used for any digital purposes, you're going to use screen. 300 ppi for now is always used for print media, and 72 is always used for anything digital. Okay, so I'll be selecting high and click OK. Okay, let's see what our document looks like in our projects folder, flyer. So this is 2. Okay, ito yung number 2. Okay, so this is our flyer design. This would be a really good attempt if this is your first flyer created. So it works perfectly. There is enough negative space. We considered all the elements and principles of design. There is enough contrast. There is balance. Everything just works well. And we know that we should start at the left, reading at the left, top left, here, and continue to the right column, and we'll end at the bottom here at our tab. So before I end off today's lesson, I would like you to create your own flyer design using the logo you have created in the previous lesson. So please don't be scared to experiment, and please submit the AI or that AI, Adobe Illustrator, and JPEG file of your output. Send it or submit it via Messenger or email it at my email address given to you. Please feel free to give your feedback and any suggestions for me to improve my instructions. So if you have further questions and concerns, please feel free to send me a message and I will get back to you whenever I am available. Congratulations on completing this lesson. For our next lesson, we will learn about corporate identity. So thank you for watching and listening, and I will be expecting for your outputs.